My heart was going so fast that it felt like a phone was vibrating inside my chest. There was no beats anymore. It was just... I was showing a heart rate of close to 300 beats per minute.
When you told me that story of you dying, because it isn't a near-death experience, it is a dying experience.
The question that comes to mind when you say that is, like, how many times can I die to who I think I am? Most people are just looking for like an ego death. Each time one dies, the truth is revealed. And that's why change happens, because death leads to the truth. Truth demands change, because change is the only constant. Yes, we're perfect as we are, but we were created to be something separate from that so that we could remember it. So we might as well just become the best version of what we think that wants to be through us. God wants to live through us or be through us, and then let that be the prayer.
We already chose death, so live. And most people don't realize to live is a thing. They're just alive. And before we begin today's episode, I'd like to just take a moment to thank you, the listenership, for taking your time and attention to listen to today's podcast. And I have a request. If you'd be willing to leave a comment or review, subscribe, like on whatever platform you're listening to this on. It helps me grow the podcast, the audience, find new guests, and complete the mission of making this one of the most impactful conversations today that we're having as a human race. And without further ado, here is today's guest. Welcome to another episode of the Embracing Human podcast. I'm your host, Scott Stone, and today we have a very special guest. I met Kyle Jones here on Maui, and just a jack of all trades, human optimizer, as he just said, a calmer David Goggins, which I really liked. And I knew once I met him, I had to have him on the show. And so I hope you all enjoy this conversation with Kai. Kai, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
Yeah, man.
Stoked to be here. Stoked to be your friend, obviously, but more so stoked to be here and kind of explore some of these pieces, I guess, that have been moving. So
yeah. I mean, meeting you, I remember meeting you in the gym and you were wearing an FP shirt, and I was like, oh, this guy knows. This guy like gets it. And, just picked up the RG bar and showed you like, oh shit. And then within weeks, we're fucking hiking Mordor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been cool. I appreciate your invitation into this circle and just getting to know you and the other dudes on a deeper level. It's something I've been wanting surely since I got to Maui. But even on a deeper level, just have been wanting other men who are interested in the things that you guys have been up to. It's really cool to see what you've cultivated.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, the gym, beautiful meeting you there. You definitely found me in my element and wasn't always into functional movement, optimization, all these pieces. But in the last few years, I've dove completely into a practice called functional patterns. And from there, it's been super helpful in navigating how to get stronger without putting any unnecessary stress or pain load on different parts of my body. For me personally, I used to have a defibrillator under my left arm here. And so when I'm in the gym, moving around, imagine all of my musculature and fascia is being constricted on my left side here pretty much. And from that place, I'm pretty much not able to do bilateral lifts, like typical press, those pieces, because when I'd create tension across my chest, I'd have this barbed wire that's attached to this device, and that barbed wire would stretch on my fascia. And so for the last 3 years, I've been in the gym figuring out how to get stronger, obviously, but how to get stronger in a way that worked for me, because the device that I had over the last couple years began to get really painful. And so the typical workout plan, the typical approach to movement wasn't working for me anymore. So yeah, decided to kind of explore outside of that. Had a couple friends, Marco and Pasha, get me into functional patterns. And once I got into that, super helpful, highly recommend it for people. And yeah, the defibrillator was a beautiful, beautiful tool, definitely. And stoked for it being removed pretty much, because it's basically like having a flip phone stitched to your sternum pretty much permanently.
A big flip phone.
Yeah.
Not a Motorola Razr, like a solid.
Yeah, like a Nokia brick. You
Yeah,
know?
like it was a big boy, you know. And I really latched onto one word you said there, which was. Right? It was a helpful tool, and it speaks to the journey that you've been on, of having it removed. It's been part of your life for quite a while, and I met you at the end of this chapter in a way. And so, yeah, maybe tell us about. You said you got into functional patterns and getting stronger and moving your body in a way. And one of the things you shared with me about was building yourself up in a way where you no longer had to lean on this device. Mm-hmm. Could you tell us a little bit about, actually, let's go back to understand like why you got it in the first place. I think it would be helpful to just tell people
Definitely
why you had this, why you became Iron Man.
Yeah. So that is a great analogy, by the way. Loved Iron Man when it came out. And yeah, so for me personally, I was born with a heart defect. So I was born with this condition called tetralogy of Fallot. It's actually called blue baby syndrome. They did a movie on it in the 60s and 70s. You can still find, I forget what the name of the movie is called. But if you look up the condition, you can find the movie if you really want to know how these kids were born blue and how doctors at the time came up with techniques, modifications to make it so that these babies could function and live long lives. And so my entire life, I've been kind of a living experiment because medicine has been developing around me as I've been utilizing it. And so I was born with that heart defect. At 7 days old, I had open heart surgery as an infant. They repaired the ventricular septal defect. And then when I was 15 years old, I had a pulmonary valve replacement, which was a full open heart surgery shortly after my freshman year in high school. And then when I was 23 was when I got my old friend that I don't have anymore, my defibrillator, because I went to the gym. I had, fun fact for people that have heart conditions or heart disease, do not recommend taking Shilajit or large concentrations of minerals. If you have scar tissue on your heart, it will short circuit your heart pretty much. For me personally, I took this substance. I went to the gym. I'd taken it countless times before, was unaware, and I'm in the gym, getting going on my workout, and I begin to feel uneasy, begin to get dizzy, start to realize like, oh shoot, I think I might pass out, or not 100% sure what's going on. I go to the locker room and just basically emptied my stomach in terms of like throwing up. The smoothie I had drank before I went to the gym. And I'm attempting to figure out what's going on, and I've never really experienced the sensation. And I'm in the bathroom attempting to like collect myself, and I'm just dripping sweat. And I just hear this voice. I'm not going to say it's like a God or an angel or it's like me or whatever, it could be what you would like it to be. But what matters is that it was the truth. And in that moment I heard, ask for help. And I just listen and go, hey, can someone help me? Can someone get help? And the guy leaves, comes back with a trainer, and the gym I was at had a sauna. I was right near the sauna. So the guy's like, oh, I spent too much time in the sauna, bro, huh? Like, oh, I've seen this before, and like internally I'm like, I think I'm dying. Like, but I don't know what to say because this guy like almost can't interface at this point. And I ask myself internally, like, how do I communicate that I'm having a near-death experience or I'm dying pretty much without attempting to explain why I'm dying? Because I can't even explain anything right now. And so I just look at him and I say, I've had open heart surgery. And when he had that same reaction, those big eyes, yeah, he gave me that big look. I was like, oh shit, really? Okay. And he goes, calls 911. Luckily the gym, that I had chosen to work out at was right across the street from the fire department. Like you could throw a rock from the gym's pool and hit the firehouse. And so they're there and it seemed like a couple minutes. And so I'm laid out on a bench. And as I'm laid out, bench kind of like similar to this table right here, and laying there. And that's when I realized, oh shit, this is my heart. Because my heart was going so fast that it felt like a phone was vibrating inside my chest for like, I couldn't even, there was no beats anymore. It was just, and that's when I knew, yeah, okay, this isn't good, but the fire department's here. So cool. Like I can relax like a little bit. And so I just focus on my breathing. I'm just watching what's happening, breathing and watching. They get these pads on me. Those pads hook up to a defib panel that also like reads an EKG, so they can see my heart rhythm once they plug those pads in. And one firefighter looks at the other one and goes, "Oh my God, is that for real?" And then the other one goes, "Check the leads, check the wires going to those pads on him." They check the leads. One goes back to the other one. "No, those are good. That's real." And I guess what they were seeing was at that moment, I was showing a heart rate of close to 300 beats per minute. And they were just completely shocked that I was still conscious. And they just immediately put me on a stretcher and got me out of there. This is in Los Angeles. So if you're from Los Angeles, you've been to LA, shoot down Lincoln Boulevard to Santa Monica, UCLA, Santa Monica, getting there, pulling me out of the ambulance. And on the way there, the paramedics are talking to me like I'm not even there. They're just like, we can't tell if this is a heart attack or if this is an AFib, or we don't really know what it is. And he's still conscious. Why is he still conscious? And I begin to feel like an immense amount of pain before we get into the hospital. And my lower back is just like, it feels like I'm being stabbed, basically. And I'm like, I know exactly, like I have to communicate the facts, the data, what's happening, because this is like life or death. So I just, yeah, my back's hurting. And I'm like, and they're like, they say to each other, like, as if I'm not even there, "Oh, his lower body is like shunting air because his heart's burning through so much oxygen that now his lower organs are shutting down basically and losing function." And so that's why what I was feeling was my kidneys shutting down basically. And so I'm just like witnessing them say this so plainly as if this is not going to affect me. And honestly, in that moment, it didn't affect me at all. I'm just breathing, just watching it all happen, communicating the truth when it comes up, breathing. And we get to the hospital, pull me out of there. And I watched a lot of Grey's Anatomy growing up, people with conditions and stuff that, medical shows, there's a certain draw to them, and I'm getting wheeled in and I'm like, damn, this is like a shot from Grey's Anatomy right now. Like, cause I'm so lit from being in that state. And so I'm like, dang, I'm like in Grey's Anatomy right now. And they get me in, and at that point I'm like, okay, like they're going to do something. And I'm just laying there and waiting, and a bunch of nurses all over me. Da, 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 da. And there's this guy to the right I notice. I was like, oh, that's the doctor. It's like everything, all the information is just there right in front of me in that state. It's like, oh, that's the ER doctor. Okay, cool. He looks pretty nervous. Oh shit. Right? Like he's like pacing back and forth in this like 2-foot spot, like stroking his beard, rubbing his, like fixing his glasses and shit, and just looking at him. And I'm like, oh, okay, like this is the guy that's going to save my life right now. Okay, I think this guy's got it, but he's clearly waiting for something because I'm still sitting here and things are still happening for me with my heart and whatnot. And so all of a sudden someone comes running in. It's like, oh, it's another doctor. And this guy looks relieved and he goes, "Give that a listen. You're never going to hear that again." And they both take their stethoscopes out, and I'm just watching them, just like, here. They both put their stethoscopes on my chest at the same time, and the dude that just arrived, his mouth drops open like that. And I just started laughing at him. I don't know, bro. It's like, so
What else can
I
you
just, yeah, I just started laughing. And they're just like, okay, prepping for cardioversion. Like, we got to get this under control. Give him more sedative. Give him more, like, get him out of here type of a thing. So give me more sedative. And what they're prepping for, I know this after the fact now, but a cardioversion is when they hit you, flatline you to break the rhythm, and then they hit you again to restart you. It's like turning your PC off and turn it back on again, turning your phone off, turn it back on. So I don't know what's happening, but I get hit, and all of a sudden, I've been under anesthesia before. So like usually it's like you're gone and then all of a sudden you're back and nothing really happened in between, at least in my experience. But this time it was a lot different. It was instantly, I'm going to use the word I'm, right? But in that instant, I didn't know that I was an I, right? And I'm there. And I just have this moment of, like curiosity, like not even the thought of what is this or where am I or who am I, just curiosity, right, is the first movement in creation, right? And so that curiosity, it's like, what is this? And then as I'm there, it's this white space and it feels like it's not living in a way, or it's static or still. And as I get curious, the space begins to vibrate and like pulsate. And so it begins to do this. And it begins to build in intensity. And as it's doing that, I begin to hear, I am, that 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 I am. And then I begin to notice that there are other presences, beings, souls, whatever you want to call those things, those observers, whatever. I notice them noticing me, notice them. And in that moment, we're all one in the creation itself. And then I'm waking back up in my body. And I'm opening my eyes. And I'm clearly back in my body. There's this nurse standing over me. She's got these big eyes and she's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I just go, whoa, that was trippy. And she just looked at me like, dang, this kid is nuts. This kid just went there, back, or wherever and back. But whatever was showing in my eyes in that moment, she was like, yeah, he went somewhere and back, and now he's here.
Saw the thing.
Yeah. And so that's why I got the defibrillator, basically, is after I had that episode, I know it was my hit is it was caused by the Shilajit that I took, but Western medicine doesn't really study herbalism, all these components that could contraindicate that they don't know about because they're not studying them. So my doctors were like, we don't know what caused this. And I was 23 at the time. I wasn't about to like tell them, hey, I took all this random shit, like da 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 yada yada. So they're like, we don't know what caused it. We have you on magnesium and potassium drips. This guy, Dr. Moore, he's out of the office for a couple weeks. This is right at Christmas. And so this actually happened the day of / the day before the winter solstice, where the sun is dying technically. And then it's like reborn again on the solstice. And so that doctor was out for Christmas. And so I spent 2 weeks in the hospital on magnesium potassium drips because they couldn't figure out what caused it. And yeah, they came up with a solution. I had like 10 doctors. They were like stoked. They were like, oh, this is great. Like something interesting. this kid hit like 300 beats per minute and he fucking lived and he didn't even pass out or whatever, you know, like, they're like, what do you do? You know, like they were super curious. And I was doing a lot of yoga at the time, a lot of Kundalini yoga, which has a lot of pranayama in it. And it accesses a lot of higher energy in a way and requires the practitioner to stay cognizant and in command of that. And so I was actually practicing that for 2 years pretty regularly, once a week at least, or at max a couple times to a few times a week. And so I just really liked the practice. Little did I know I was like training for a journey to the other side and back type of a thing, because it might not have happened like that if I had died at the gym and then been revived. Right. And so it's just interesting to contemplate, but they implanted that defibrillator on my left side when I was 23. I'm now 32. So it's been 9 years. And so it took 9 years to get to where I'm at now. Not only taking care of myself and working in all the ways to make sure that my body's healthy, but really looking at Western medicine and doing my best to be involved in my process and like ask my doctors the questions, not from a place of like, I doubt you, I'm critical of Western medicine. I'm asking from a place of like, I'm legit interested in this. I'm legitimate. Like I could have been a doctor. Like I'm really interested in this. And so they'll pull out the charts. They'll show me different components. They'll explain different things because I'm super just stoked to learn. And so it took 2 years of training at the gym and living in Maui and dieting properly and doing all of these biohacking pieces and getting to this place where I can ask my doctors, hey, have you seen anything in my charts that would make you think that I need to keep this inside of me when I haven't used it for 9 years? Because it has 3 charges in it. And so the battery's meant to die after 3 fires of it. And so after 9 years, it didn't fire once. And so I began to ask questions as to like, how can I get this removed? Because it's causing me pain now. And I haven't used it. And is there anything in my readings that would indicate that I have to have this going forward? And although it's their job, like, you know, they want to save people. Like they got big hearts, man. And not Western medicine can get sideways in a bunch of different sectors. And these guys saved my life and have taken care of me for my whole life. And so it was a big step for me to say, okay, this thing that I feel like I've been at the whim of, like being born broken or being born with a defect, am I really going to do I believe in myself enough to say that I can bet that this won't happen again based on everything that I'm doing? Do I actually know what the right thing is to do for me? And that's where I've been at the last few years, and more so this year, in the place of who am I as a result, not of these experiences, these mystical experiences, but who am I as a result of the challenges that are completely out of my control. And maybe there's more to me beyond the label of being broken, right? Maybe there's a reason for me being born the way I was born. And I'm still figuring that out. And that's even why I'm sitting here with you. How can I share? What do people want to know? How can I help? And yeah, more than anything, I just want to be the embodiment of what it means to not give up ever. Pretty much. I'll adapt a million ways before I give up. I will. It's not a choice. It's something that I have to do to live. And so if there's anything I can share with others, then I'll share. But for now, I'm just doing my best to figure out who I am from here now. Who am I on the other side of liberating myself from the limitations that I told myself I was a victim of. But in truth, I was never really a victim. I was just given these set of circumstances that made me commit to becoming the best possible version of myself and breaking every limitation that not only other people perceive to be the case, but that I see. Most of my 20s after I got that device, I had a big chip on my shoulder. And I got that device and it was like, I'm not stopping. I'm going to put myself in like 80-degree weather, go 7 miles, put myself in like 90-degree weather, look for springs in the middle of mountains, like on, magical days, special days, holidays and whatnot. And I kept pushing those boundaries, those limitations, because I felt that I was on to something. And that was all I knew. And yeah, it turns out that just being who I was what led me here to Maui with y'all, and also just like back to myself in a way that is new. And I'm just grateful for the people that are willing to listen to that story. And my promise is that this is just a check-in. There's a lot more that's coming from me. And I know that. And this is only really the beginning at 32 for me. And I'll still have to go deal with my doctors and meet that edge over and over and over and over again. But what's clear is I know who I am, and I can feel that other people know I know who I am. And that's what matters to me as I figure it out. And having people like you in my life to kind of help me figure it out while I'm in the thick of it. I'm good at holding it together. And also when I get close to the edge, I'm good at saying, I need people. I need prayers. And it doesn't fix how I feel at all. But man, when I'm getting ready for like going to the hospital in the morning of a procedure and wondering if I'm going to walk out of that door again, it's like, it's potent. It's potent. It's the prayers at the edge that make me believe I can fly. That's really what I believe in my heart is it's the prayers that when everything fails, it's like, I've got God and I've got this and I've got these people and I've got people that have never met me, people that may never meet me, that are going to hear this, that are going to believe in me. But I just hope that they believe in me, believing in them. Every day I'm at the gym, I tell myself, there are people that believe in you that you haven't met yet. Prove them right. Like, make their belief matter by becoming someone of substance, someone of stature. So I love the path of growth, of consciousness, of, this community that has flourished these last like 10 years, 15 years, and it's lacked a realness that I think is necessary. And that realness is what the rest of the world is asking of those people so that it can resonate with them finally. Everybody's doing all this inner work. They speak of integrity, vulnerability, transparency, all of these components. And yet the people that don't know those words are saying, well, I don't need to know those words to recognize genuine, authentic people. Period. So it doesn't matter what vocabulary you have. You can connect with any auntie, any uncle, any person, period, if you're fucking real. But you won't be real if you hide in the vocabulary. You won't be real if you hide in the trauma and say like, oh, yeah, we all got trauma. What are you doing with it? Right? Because most people get to, in my opinion, they get to put it down. Right? For me, I just feel like I just hold it constantly. And because I'm forced to hold it constantly, it has to become something I work with. And so I'm curious, how can people hold themselves more deeply and honestly, just be brutally honest with yourself, so that we can get more people that are genuine versus people that are claiming to be genuine. Right? People that speak beautiful words, but have hardened hearts. And most truth is simple. So why make it flowery or sugary?
It's good.
So, yeah.
It's good for the gram.
It's good for the gram. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you said so much gold there, Kai, and I first just really acknowledge you for living your story, and being the embodiment of someone who doesn't give up and choosing life over and over and over again amidst, I wouldn't even call it evidence, just trial, and like things to overcome. And so I just appreciate you coming to share your story and being a vessel for service and for transformation. And, it's, you shared something in there about becoming the version of yourself that no longer needed this thing. And it reminded me of two things. One is when you told me that story of you dying, because it isn't a near-death experience, it is a dying experience. You said when you went to that space, the only thing that you were, like, one of the main things you were present to was, like, there wasn't change. It was just is. And then when you came back here, you realized that, like, oh, that's why we chose a human, because all of this is change. And in the stories that you've shared with me, the amount of iterative process you've had on yourself of becoming, whether we call it someone who's fit or someone who, takes hundreds of men through process, or real estate, like all the things that you've created in your life takes change and commitment. And so, yeah, it's not only is it this challenge that you've overcome and continue to overcome with your heart, but also just the amount of times that you've created a new version of Kai. And I've only gotten to meet this version, in a way I get to meet the other ones through the stories that you share, but the one that sits in front of me is the one I know.
The question that comes to mind when you say that is, like, how many times can I die to who I think I am?
Right.
Like, how many times can I die? Most people are just looking for, like, an ego death. I'm like, how many times can I die? And each time one dies, the truth is revealed. And that's why change happens. Right? Because death leads to the truth. Truth demands change, because change is the only constant. So, yes, we're perfect as we are, right? But we were created to be something separate from that so that we could remember it. So we might as well just become the best version of what we think that wants to be through us. God wants to live through us or be through us, and then let that be the prayer. Like, let the embodiment be the prayer.
Yes.
And let the projections fly.
Right.
It's okay.
I love that. And it's something I don't think we talk enough about in society, is death and understanding, we were talking about this around your dinner table one time about, we already chose death, so live, and most people don't realize to live is a thing. They're just alive.
Totally.
And So back to another version of you pick, because I think these are both really cool stories.
Go ahead.
So there's two options we can go down. We can go down used to be fat kid, or the other one is the conscious community like creator, right? The guy that like stepped into a very unknown world that like created a movement with a bunch of other people in a very like unique behind the scenes way, you know? And I think they're both really cool examples of just the way you created your avatar. And I'm curious which one you think would be a funner, like more fun story to tell.
I feel like we got to go to number 2, right?
Great.
Is that what Scott wants right now?
I think they're both. I
just playing.
Yeah, I think they're both a great story.
No, I feel it. Community organizations. Mm-hmm. So many people are pushing for like unity consciousness, right? And it's this like big piece that's been brought forward the last 10 years. And it's spurred on all these like different pockets of like movements of like, oh, we're going to meet up at the park and do this and that. And, you know, like, and 10 years ago, I felt like at that time I was nobody really. And I just started sharing stuff online, didn't even share my face. I just would write these really deep like captions that would come through my journaling and whatnot. And I just decided to start picking cool pictures and putting those captions out. And I slowly began to pick up a following on Instagram. This is like way before the algorithm, way before influencer was even a word, honestly. I mean, it was a word, I guess, conceptually, but
it wasn't a job title.
Exactly. It wasn't a job title. It wasn't a career path. I'm like, what? Like, but so like I'm sharing writings, doing all that. And because there's no algorithm, like a lot of it is just chronological order. So who you follow is who you're seeing on your feed, basically. And there's no ads either at the time. So begin to find people on the same wavelength, begin to share similar content. And my captions start getting motion in terms of like the depth, and begin to meet people online, befriend people online. And there was this group of people. I lived in Los Angeles at the time, born and raised in LA. And they're like, we're going to start this in-person park event thing where we're going to just pop up at a park. Basically, it's going to be like a one-day festival that's like a rogue status, you know, where we're just going to pop up at a park. No one's going to be able to know like how we even all organized or who the organizer is. So they can't write a ticket, you know, and then we're going to do our thing. And as long as there's no, you know, drugs, alcohol, and none of that shit and loud music, then they're going to leave us alone. And so that was the template that these influencers at the time started with. And so this group of like 10 of us, I wasn't part of the crew initially, but I got invited to their event. And amongst those, between those 10 people, they had over 1 million followers, all living in Los Angeles, all into the same stuff. Because the space was so small back then, if you were really about it, like you were just about it. So it was awesome. Went to this event. This brother comes up to me and he's like, "Hey," and he says my Instagram handle, and I'm like, "Oh shit! Like that's also me too." I'm being recognized for this persona that I thought was only this online part of me that I kept in the corner, like back over there, that my family doesn't really know about. You know, it's like, okay. And here's this dude recognizing me, and it's like, okay. And they kind of invite me in to their little club, and there's a lot of people at the table, you know, and so they begin to organize, and we basically went all over California doing these like pop-up one-day festival things that were like guerrilla put together through Instagram pretty much. And it was sick. It was like one of the most amazing times of my life going to San Diego. I met my best friend at the event I went to in San Diego. He's still my best friend to this day. Most integral human being I know. Never met any human being that's I never met any. I know there's humans that exist that have done this, but he has sworn a vow to never lie.
Love that.
And I'm like, dang. this is the kind of guy I want to be my friend. I don't think too highly of myself, but shit, this guy's lit. And so befriended him, met a bunch of people, went all over California to these events. And then what happens in community organizations when things get motion and people get hungry? Oh, let's argue over money now, right? And so, of course, there's 10 people at the table, really imbalanced political dynamics, I would say, in terms of the navigation of it. And basically, that group got into an infight, and one side of the group stole the Instagram from the other side that we had all built together. So the Instagram that was the group's Instagram, between all of us, because we had a million in traffic, right? We were able to grow that account to like 100K in like 2 months. Wow. And we were like going all over California and shit. And so it was pretty powerful to see what could happen with just like people willing to get going and do it. And so that fell apart through infighting. And then a couple years pass, went through a heartbreak. I was really struggling at the time. And at this point, I'm about 24, 25. And one of the guys from that old group comes to me and he's like, hey, we're going to start a men's thing. I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay. And he like does a couple circles down in North San Diego and didn't go to them. But I was in my little cave hiding in my depression and stuff. And it wasn't just disappearing or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I got to do something. Fucking do something. And I don't know what to do. My boy's talking to me, my best friend. He's like, yo, Diego's coming to town. Diego's young Pueblo. We're all going to meet up and have dinner. Because at the time, people these nowadays are bigger. But at the time, it was like, that's my friend. Like, I love him, like. Or inspired. Like, I'm inspired by him. Like, he loves my shit too. Like, I love him. So go have dinner with Diego, and this other brother's there from the other organization that we used to be a part of. And he's like, we're going to do we got a retreat coming up, our first retreat, our second retreat actually. And I was like, I'm in. I'll do it. I'm in. I go to this retreat in Joshua Tree. And that was when my journey with men's work began. Mm-hmm. Because it was such the opposite of what men are told to do in society. Oh, feel your anger. Yeah, bring your anger up. Yeah, like, let it out now. What? What do you mean? I'm basically a nuke. Like, you sure you want me to let this out? Like, everybody tells me to keep this in. Everything tells me to keep this in. If I let this out, you don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know what's going to happen either. So I'd rather you just like the version of me that's here right now. Right. But in that retreat, I got to kind of meet the parts of myself and let those feelings, those emotions like come to the forefront and be prevalent. And then after that, it took me a few months, 3 to 6 months, and they had this big gathering called Convergence, and it was like their third one that they were putting on. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to that. And my best friend at the time, he had joined a bit earlier than me, joined in the organizing of that a bit earlier. And so he was already on staff for it. So I got to go participate. And yeah, from that was about 5 years ago. I stayed with that organization as a participant for a couple years. And then they provided training and a bunch of other awesome and really dope growth experiences. And so I got to join up with them, and that was super powerful. And that's honestly what brought me to Maui. Mm-hmm. Most people know about Sacred Sons, but that's what brought me here. Is I was blessed with the opportunity to be able to work on a retreat and do all the back end management, sales, all that stuff, marketing for it, and use those 3D skills I learned in LA to help make people's lives better. Mm-hmm. And also selfishly, right, get out of the city and get into an environment where I have a higher likelihood of living longer, just from stress and just from the food that we get to eat here, the diet we get to have here. So just extremely grateful to to the brothers that brought me out here and to this land that keeps me nourished here and keeps me alive, honestly. But yeah, that organization had all its twists and turns, all its shadows and lights and different components. And what I'll say about just organizations in general is there has to be clear structure, clear incentives for the people within that structure, whether that's fair pay or certain benefits, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And then there has to be a clear track of like where we're going. Right. What is the mission? What is the end point here? And a lot of community organizations don't start with those things in mind. They start with, let's just all be together and sing Kumbaya, and everybody gets seen and everybody gets heard and everybody feels good. Right. But what happens when your community organizations becomes worth multiple millions?
Right. Thousands of people.
Everybody's going to be like, oh shit, like, where's the unity now? It's like, oh no, we're not about like, we were just into that so we could get y'all to pay, like for our shit, right? But we're not actually into that. Like,
it's a business.
Yeah, it's a business, and they started it like that. They intended to start it like that. It's just the way it was operated was very much like a community organization where it's like, okay, if I can't get it from you because you want to get paid, I'm going to go over to someone who I just like, who just came to their first retreat and is super excited, and like they'll give it to me for free.
Right.
And so a lot of the navigation in those organizations kind of became a carousel of value, honestly. Yeah. Like you're only on the carousel for as long as you can offer value. Yeah. And beyond that, it's not that you're off the carousel because you're always valuable. Right. Right. And you just will notice the fall off in terms of the connection and other components. And so, at certain points, people need to realize that, like, yes, you're in your awakening, but wake up. Yeah. There's still people doing business here. Yeah. And you can choose to be one of those people, or you can choose to work for one of those people fairly, or you can choose to be used by those people as well for free as a volunteer, or be told that you're a volunteer, right? Yeah. But the value that you're offering and the math, right, that you're doing on the value of these retreats, right? And everybody can do math when the prices are posted on the websites. Right. So it's just important that people listening to this, if you're looking to build an organization or anything, make sure that the people you're inviting into the top have specific value adds that are tangible. Yeah. That it doesn't mean like, oh, like everybody's got to have 10K to put in. It just means like, if Scott has amazing marketing skills, he's got videography on lock plus editing, right? And I've got investment, right? Plus facilitation skills, then we can do some great, amazing things together, right? If I recognize your skill set and we distribute equity, right? And equity, profit plus responsibility work for operating the thing fairly. And so that's what I would invite people into the consideration of is it's really amazing to start community organizations. But the reason why they typically fail is because people are always thinking, what's in it for me? And honestly, that's the right thing to think because we have to survive. There's no amount of love and light that will eliminate me having to go eat after this. And to maintain my muscle structure and all that, realistically, if I want to be a twig, yeah, sure. If I want to be a yogi sitting under a tree and living off of minerals and that's it, and just attempting to achieve enlightenment, then I'll go do that and I'll look entirely differently. But yeah, it's just important that the love and light components don't pave over the structural components that are necessary. Yeah. And that we're honest with our customers that this is what it is. Yeah. We're not selling this illusion of who they could be, right? But in reality, there's no runway to get them off the ground. Right. So I'm selling you, I'm like, hey, buy this plane ticket. It's great, right? And look, there's a plane outside, but there's not enough runway to get these people off the ground, either because they haven't done enough self-work before arriving at that point, or there's not enough internal work, coursework, right, within the organization for them to scale their abilities in accordance with the facilitators or staff or members that already live at that level. And so organizations, businesses, if you want to succeed, it's about embodiment, 1000%. Your customers, your employees, they recognize it, they feel it, they know it. Like, you command respect by how you show up in your posture and your command of your voice in who you are and what you know you can do for people and for yourself. And then it becomes like, okay, and how can I make this, right, benefit everybody else out there? Right? Like, ideally, everybody watching this, the goal should be to, like, I'm project onto everybody. Okay, here's the projection: make 8 figures and then give back. If you're looking to save the world, make money and then figure out, and don't lose your soul in doing so. Right? And then figure out how to structure your finances and your reality in a way that makes it so now 1 grant a year in Hawaii or on Maui is funded by my work, right? And it's funded because I didn't want to pay taxes to the government, and so I made my donation to this nonprofit that is funding this grant that is taking care of this community.
Right.
If you want to make an impact, build endowment funds, create foundations that will fund in perpetuity, right, these grants that benefit these people. Right. A lot of people are like, oh, the end goal is to achieve enlightenment and reach love and light. And it's like, I got people to take care of. I got a community here that most of them don't know me. It's okay. I care about them. And I know that the way I show up communicates that, because they can see I care about myself and that I'm open enough to invite in that aloha and those opportunities. Right. But yeah, conscious community is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Just don't get stuck at Burning Man. Don't get lost at LIB. Like, yes, EDM is great. Bass music's awesome. Like, I love it. I love it too. Yeah. You know, also ceremony, love it. Great. Psychedelics, awesome. Right. And
integration.
Embodiment comes from integration.
Right.
So put down the reflection journal and pick up a saw and build something.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
Like, and you might need a journal. You know how to do that.
Right.
Like, just take a risk on doing things.
Right. And
don't overthink it too much.
Go build that runway.
You know, I'm not the best at not overthinking it. So
no, I just, back when you were talking about this plane analogy, I could just see, like, yeah, the plane's out on the runway and the runway's not long enough to take off, but you can go take selfies in the airplane and they'll look great for marketing, you know, which actually is a business. Like, the people rent out PJs to, like, yeah, look at, you're in a private jet, you know, like, you can take pictures in here. And it's like, yeah, but you could never fly in this thing. And, you know, I think that's a great place to go next is, you know, with your extensive experience into men's work and seeing behind the veil, right? You've seen hundreds of men go through these ceremonies and initiations and emotional expressions that most people don't, one, have a clue about, but also, how do these men go back into the world and integrate this and embody this in a way where it's like, okay, I went on this weekend and now I know I can yell, but to whom? Not to my wife or my kids or my neighbors. So, like, what the fuck do I do with this? And so my question to you is like, what is the next stage as Kai sees it for, whether you want to call it men's work or the conscious community, you know, enlightenment, embodiment, whatever you want to call it?
Let's focus on the men specifically. The next step is, like, in my opinion, just like the physical embodiment components. With retreat work, it's super, super strong in popping people open, right? And the thing that I would attempt to anchor into my teams on weekends when I'm working with them is like, look, guys, like, on the final day, I don't, let me put it this way. I don't like burst their bubble, but I'll ask everybody, you know, because everybody's like, oh, I want to be a leader like you. I want to lead the men's, you know, do the men. It's like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, for sure. Like, I love that you've got enough value to want that right now. That's like really satisfying, like awesome. And you think you can do this, right? So what am I going to ask? I'm going to ask, I'm going to ask guys, who here wants to be a leader, right? Everybody watching this podcast, like, oh, me, I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader, right? And I'll say, then lead yourself after you leave here. Because when the next time I see you, we'll be on another one of these weekends, and it's either going to be with you studying and attempting to learn more about this so you can be better with your relationships, or it's going to be us helping you through another problem again. Right? And that's okay, right? You're paying for it. It's fine. And I'm a big proponent of like, I'm going to give you one, but I'm going to give you my all. That's how I roll, right? I got one life. I'm going to give it my fucking all. So I'll go there, stay as long as we need to in these processes, do the things that are necessary to help these men open. And then from that place, it's like, cool, like go home and integrate. Are you in the gym? Are you in your practices? Are you in your prayer? Are you in discipline? And what I'll speak to right around integration, Scott knows, but the bros I have here on island, Marco, Luke, Spencer, we're all really different. Honestly, we're all really, really different, but we all met while working for this retreat company. And I really drilled it into our friendship dynamic of like, we embody in between showing up for the world. We're in the gym. We are in Sweat Lodge together at the time. We're doing these hard things together. We're hiking 11 miles through Haleakala Crater just for fun, like, because it's awesome. We choose to do hard things every day. And in that choice, what you notice, even though we're so different in each of our temperaments, is our integrity is very similar. The feeling of our embodiment when we're together in public, there's like a resonance that's like, who are these guys? And what that is the genuine embodiment that comes from consistent discipline and the actualization of a personal goal with the witness of the group present. I respect these men, not for making the decisions I think they should make, but for being men of discipline and devotion that will make the choices they make and learn the ways they learn. And I'll see you at the gym. Right. And I'll see you at ceremony. I'll see you in these places. I'll see you paddling. I'll see you doing this. Right. And that has become 10 times more valuable than those breaking open moments that were being sold on those weekends. Yeah. Because the reason why our retreat in Maui specifically, for people not knowing, Sacred Sons has retreats all over the world. So we were just doing the Maui one. The reason the Maui retreat was entirely different than all of our other retreats that were put on by other people was because I made it so we only had local brothers like on the retreat, working the retreat. And they were all my crew that we work together every month. We're seeing each other every week or every other week. And so when men are flying out to do a retreat with us in Maui and with Kale to be with Kale and experience like his magic, it's like what they're noticing is, holy shit, these guys are so dialed in with their integrity and their discipline. It's not that they're the same and they're just doing the same programming or adopting the same program. They're just so disciplined and dialed into each other, and they know each other so well that they can predict kind of like how each person is going to do or what they're going to do while they're working together. Yeah. And that became a certain source of magic in the facilitation of men's work because we were working with each other every day of the year. And then we would do these retreats 3 to 4 times a year. And then people would be like, wow, like why is this so amazing? And like, and it's like, because we live and breathe this. Because I wouldn't have been able to meet those edges of death and recovery and believing in myself again without these bros. And there are men that I worked with on weekends that I love and hold a special place in my heart. But these bros held me through the darkest moments and watched me become something more. They didn't say, okay, chill out, take it easy. They didn't say, you're going to feel, they didn't once try to massage the level of intensity or frustration I had with my circumstances. They just said, this is how he is. Let's keep up, and because he's trying to keep up with us, even though I could tell they already know I'm there with them. But in a sense, I had this chip on my shoulder. And so the integration components that come from men's work, the embodiment components that come from doing that work, they can be continued in perpetuity if you find the right crew of dudes and you lock in and you say, we got different beliefs on how we're going to navigate in relationships. We've got different beliefs on we don't have different relationships with our parents. We have all these different things. But at the end of the day, I know that when me and my bros are at a place, there's an aura, there's a field there, because what we are doing is we're uniting all of the freaking motion and energy and potential kinetic energy that we built up in the gym, in work, taking risks on our businesses, starting new projects. I'm so grateful for these bros, and none of us are at the place where we're making tons of money at all, honestly.
Right.
And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I have something that I cannot buy.
Yeah.
I went to war and came back, and these bros were like, you're still you. Remember your heart. You're still you. I know you fought those battles. Just remember, it's okay. Yeah. Sometimes you have to go you have to let the warrior be completely unchained, or at least I do, so that I can understand the limitation, how to reel him in and where he needs to stay.
Yes.
But when it came to me stepping away from Sacred Sons, it was okay, things aren't in alignment for me personally, and just from a purely business standpoint aren't in alignment, period. There are countless men that have kind of bought into this program that they're going to become a leader. And most, if I'm being 100% honest, right at this point, this is last year, I'm 4 or 5 years deep into this. You can tell when someone's got it. Oh yeah. And so after a minute, I could pick me and some of the others could pick those guys out, and we would pull those guys onto our teams and give them more motion and whatnot, more opportunities to facilitate. And yeah, that opportunity wasn't available across the board for everybody, because not everybody is capable. That's the truth. Right. It's not for everybody. Not everybody's going to make it. That's what makes it worth getting. Right. Period. That's it. So yeah, when it comes to men's work, if there's any men watching where it's I don't know what to do, where to start, I got to get bros. I'm not saying go be a toxic gym bro or whatever. But if you're emotionally distraught, mentally all over the place and pressurized, it's then you're just disconnected from your body, honestly. Just get in the gym. And what's going to happen is I don't want to go to the gym this morning, right? The mental discipline is downstream of you just being in the gym. So you fix two things. You're no longer out of shape, and you're no longer mentally distraught because you've hopefully exhausted your mental pressure, right? And then from there, now you can move from a bit more clarity. Right. Right. So that's what I would say for men specifically, is we're already under an immense amount of pressure. You might as well get in the gym, move heavy shit in the morning so that you can have a clear mind throughout the rest of the day or in the afternoon, whatever you like. Right. But that's what I'd recommend is get in the body, move some stuff around. Yeah. Don't destroy your body. Do some functional stuff, functional patterns, whatever it looks like. Yeah. But you're going to meet, right? you're going to meet the dudes in the gym. They're on the same wavelength, right?
Right.
Like you bringing me like the functional patterns toy. I was like, oh my gosh, you have one of these? Oh my God. Can we go practice right now? And I'm just like little kid mode basically. Right.
Yeah.
And so get in the gym. You're going to you're going to find the people.
Yeah.
And you might not find the people. Try a few gyms.
I mean, go to another gym.
Find 3-4 gyms. We're on a small island. This is a little different. Right. But if you're in a city or whatever, try 3-4 gyms, try some smaller gyms too. Right. Like find the dudes that like are there for a couple hours and they're kind of just working from home. Cause that's you. Right. So make those dudes your friends, find friends that are pursuing that.
Right.
And yeah, they might not be on the like consciousness tip, but you know what? If you leave behind the flowery vocabulary and you're just a genuine human being, they'll fuck with you.
Right.
I'll give you one example. I've done a lot of things, right? You know that. But when it comes to community organizations, I like testing myself to see like, okay, like what would I be like in this environment? So people have apartments and stuff, but in 2019, there was this place in Venice Beach, California that had a co-living place. It was like really interesting because it was like health and wellness based. And it was like this big ass house. It was like 4 houses side by side. Mm-hmm. And I decided like, okay, I'm going to go into this co-living environment basically, where the only prerequisite to live there is that you're just interested in health and wellness.
Okay.
Right. So then you're going to get a mixed crowd, right? They had a little interview process. They didn't just let anybody in. But for the most part, everybody's kind of sharing. It's like men and women's dorms with these like super expensive, like pod beds basically. And then like really nice kitchens, shared amenities. Like we had a gym on site, co-working space on site, yoga room on site, and a movie theater on site. Like all of the garages for the 4 houses were converted into these unique amenities since we were all like living in these like smaller pod footprints. And you get like one guy's like, oh, I'm here from Boston and like I'm trying to be a boxing trainer. And like another guy's like, oh, I'm already a trainer and I train at like F45 down the street. And then like this girl's like, oh, I work for a startup and it's like Conscious City Guide. And so I was like, wow, this is like sick. Like there's all these like interested health and wellness professionals and stuff. And I'm like the super woo one, like the wooiest woo pretty much. Like I had a marketing job at the time, but I had a afro and I was just like super wooed out. But I was like, okay, like I'm going to go live here because there's clearly an uncomfortability in me being around people that don't think like me. So let me go live here and see if I can like survive or legitimately connect with people. Yeah. And that just like are just interested in health and wellness. That's it.
That's all we know.
So I do it. And within like 4 or 5 months, I had like become a house parent, which means like I'm basically like in charge of an entire house and like all these like adults are like my kids kind of. It's like pretty lit. And I only got picked for that. Well, they made me do it because they like all loved me. But the only reason I got picked for that is because I legitimately made an effort for like 3, 4, 5 months to connect with everybody in my house. Yeah. When these girls get off work and they're tired and stuff, how's your day? You know, I'll sit there at the kitchen, breakfast bar and I just listen. Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Bros come in. Oh, bro, how you doing? How's your workout? That's good. What are you working on? And just being curious, like, and being genuinely being interested in the things that people are doing. And then all of a sudden I have close friends that don't have the same vocabulary as me. But I began to identify what I realized, what I was looking for, which is like, how can I find people that have the willpower? They don't have to know these words or whatever, but they just have to have the will to become more. And the guy, my boy Mark, love you, Mark, if you're listening to this, my boy Mark from Boston, dope human being. And we just like became homies. And he's like, I moved here and I want to be a boxing trainer. Right. So I'm like, okay, bro, like for sure. Like I believe in you, like let's get it, And I'd check in with him and he was just like cleaning up the, he was like cleaning up the gym, like wanting to become a trainer there, but he has a cert and stuff, but they weren't hiring. So he's just cleaning the gym for like a month. 2 months later, he's like, they finally let him like teach a class and it's like the worst class on the schedule, but he's stoked. 6 months after that, he's like teaching classes. A year after that, he's like the lead trainer on that boxing gym. And then now he's training, I think, at Nike, cool. I believe. Nike training studio in Santa Monica, California.
Dope.
And so he was the perfect example. And I hope you're watching this, bro, because I love you. Even though we haven't talked in a minute, I love you. You're just like the perfect example of someone that has the will and doesn't need any of that extra shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I have a goal and I'm going to go get that. And I don't believe in, and he was honest. I don't believe in myself. Like, I'm like, I hear you, bro. I brought him to Sacred Sons too. He broke him open.
Wow.
But what built him into that trainer was the integration work after.
Totally.
Was me after being in his, like, he's going to see me every day after that retreat.
Right.
And so that's what I'll say, right? Is people are looking for genuine, authentic connection,
yes.
Period. They don't care what you know. They don't care how you say it. They don't even care how you feel about it. They just are there, right? So the authentic connection piece, if that's anything anybody could focus in on, is like embrace your challenges so that you can transform them into strengths. And then those strengths become the genuine, authentic foothold that you're operating from now. But if you're like, oh, I know what my problems are, and then I'm just like gonna basically adopt the vocabulary and rhetoric to act like they don't exist, right? It's like, okay, well, I could talk like that all day. I could change my vocabulary up right now and be like, oh yeah, I'm completely embodied and I'm looking to further integrate these deeper components that have been coming up for me. And there are challenges that come up with every cycle in life, right? It's like, what the fuck did I just say? It's like, no, like I care about you, bro. And I just like, I'm struggling and I feel like you're a safe space. And you mind if I share? That's completely different. That I want to be there for.
Right.
The other thing, it's like
a poem. Like,
yeah,
why are you reading this?
I'm a riddle.
Right.
Figure me out because I think I'm special.
Right.
No, like just say what's happening.
Right.
Because what you're going through isn't you're not special. Like we're all struggling. Like we've all got things we're navigating. And yes, in that moment, of course, they're entirely unique to you.
Of course.
And that's your unique experience, right? And all those things can be true. Yeah. And if you don't open up, you're going to stay isolated and think that you're the only one that experiences this. And then because you stay isolated, you're ignorant to all the solutions that other people have found for that same thing.
Right.
And then you're just scared that once you find the solution, you're going to have to do something.
Right.
Shoot.
Now what?
Whoa. You have to do something once you find a solution. So I'm so grateful for this heart thing, honestly, because I had to find solutions.
Right.
So like most people are like, I'm doing the inner work. It's like, okay, I feel like I've gotten to that deep enough place and they just stop digging. Right. For me, it's like, nah, I'm trying to figure out what that was on the other side there. And what I do now that I know that's that.
Right.
What?
No, it's so true. It's so true. I see it a lot. I saw something today about this, actually, about, you meet two types of people in this, what we'll call healing path, I guess you could say. You got the people who get to the point, and then you get to the people that walk around the point until you ask them what the point is, and no shame or judgment or shade on either one. It's just, hey, how badly do you want this? Because it's here for the taking as soon as you're ready to own, like, yeah, I'm struggling, and this is just what it is. Because as soon as we do that and we get witnessed in it, it's like, oh wow, this feels so much better, versus like, why won't you figure me out, Kai? Why won't you help? And it's just like, because I don't want it. And so I appreciate that perspective and just the letting us into that journey. It's It's something that I hope a lot of men get to experience in one way or another. For years, I carried a story that nobody cared about me, especially men. Apathetic dad at times and just completely abusive brother at times. And so it was like, yeah, these people don't give a fuck. And now to have brothers that deeply care about me, I'm like, holy shit. I cry with a lot of my homies, most of them. And it's just like, wow, they're okay with this. They care about this. They want to listen to this. It's like, whoa, like, I hope every man gets to experience that, because this lone wolf narrative that we've been propagated on is just nefarious in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, you talked about a lot of overcoming, and different areas of your life, health, relational, all this stuff. What is Kai's current edge that he's working with?
I guess for me, the present edge is, it's almost like, imagine your whole life you believed you couldn't do something, and that you were proven that you couldn't do it at every moment, or every opportunity. It was kind of proven that way. So now it's almost like, I know I can do it, but like, who am I, like, without the pressure of having to do it? Like, I know I can do it. Like, who am I, like, without the pressure of having to do it? Like, now that I'm not in chronic pain, what's my why, right? Like, I just allowed my frustration with my circumstances to fuel me for so long. I'm wondering what's my fuel now? If not my sadness or my anger, then what is really, like, my fuel?
Wow. Huge.
I think I'll answer that a little bit, because we had that circle last night, and you guys are all over my place, and that makes me, like, witnessing not only the growth within people, but watching the lights turn on and watching, like, each other light each other up in these ways, or how we all have different pieces of the puzzle for each other. And how when we're circled up, we get to witness the truth as it is reflected through all of us, right? With different, like, feedback pieces. And so I feel like, because I was talking about my death experience, I feel not empty, but, like, full and empty at the same time. And it's like stillness, but there's still this desire to move. And I'm just, like, there, right? I'm not stuck, but I'm there. And I'm curious about that, I guess. I'm curious if just being connected to God and, like, connected to spirit, to the goodness of life is enough to fuel me towards creating more goodness in life.
Get that.
And it'll take some time to recognize. Obviously, I'm grateful for being alive. But when that's the only thing I've been focusing on, it's hard to remember what other things I'm really grateful for. And thus, I find myself in a space of wondering what that motivation will be going forward. But the moment that we had last night, in terms of, like, just us circling up as brothers, and me, Margot, Spencer, Luke, you, Chris, I woke up after, like, 6 hours of sleep. Normally I'll, like, have this, like, half, like, kind of restless thing. And when I woke up this morning, I just felt so peaceful. And so, like, there was no chatter, no emotional chatter, no mental chatter, nothing.
Trust.
So peaceful. And so full. Not like a piece of, like, I'm trying to get away from this life.
Right.
Like, let me find peace in the disassociation from this. It was like, no, I'm in this, and this feels peaceful as fuck. So yeah, that's kind of my current challenge or edge, is like, what's my motivation if not survival?
Yeah.
And yeah, there'll be some good nuggets that I'm going to be learning from y'all for sure. Now that I'm not as zeroed in on my circumstances, I can expand my vision or my perception to see how most of y'all are already embodying probably most of the pieces that are going to be the next things I focus on. And that's why a part of me is choosing for y'all to be in my life continually. And I'm grateful that y'all receive my challenges, because, they come from love and not from a place of, like, you're less than me, or I'm less than you, or you need to do this or that. But yeah, you guys have gold for me. There are people that have gold that I haven't met yet that I will meet. And so, yeah, I'm just looking to remain open and available, I guess, to the goodness. You feel me?
Oh, absolutely.
Feel me? The goodness.
Yeah. No, I mean, it reminded me when you were speaking on that, back to what we said earlier about, like, you spent so much time keeping yourself alive, and now it's time to live.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because, like you said earlier, getting that device implanted, like, it put a chip on your shoulder. And it's not even to say that you've been living from that chip, but do you still need to carry it? Or can it now be integrated as?
Nah, it's dissolving, right? I get to kind of see it, like when we went paddling on Saturday. I couldn't paddle canoe. Like, my friends were trying to get me into it last year, and I was super stoked. Like, I love the water. I grew up on boats, and I just couldn't keep up with the paddle stroke, like, from having that device implanted. And if anybody, most people probably haven't paddle canoe, but for those that have, it's pretty hard to get that motion going with some thing like
a couple pagers
anchored. Yeah, a little pager anchored to your sternum. So yeah, on Saturday I went to paddle for the second time since I got the device removed. And because I'm there, uncle that was steering was like, and I'm in shape and I'm young. So he's like looking at me like, okay, this guy's gonna know what's up. Like, he's gonna freaking like, or he's gonna be powerhouse, and I'm just like, I'm like a third grader right now, reliving like all of the moments when I was extremely nervous of being found out as different or whatever, or disabled or whatever, like I'm just, and he's looking at me one way and I'm looking like at the water, like, and gets me out on the canoe and went out and then paused. Everybody got in the water. He starts coming at me. He goes, "Hey, I'll taught you how to paddle." Da, 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 da. And I was like, "Ah, da, 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 da." Yeah, he's like, "Oh, okay. Let me show you. Let me show you." So he gets in the canoe and he sits in front of me. He's like, "Okay, watch me." Shows me, hands me paddle, says, "Go." I try, but literally these muscles aren't awake yet. It's only been like a month. So they're just not awake. So I'm trying to get them to wake up. So like the third grader in me is like, "Oh no, it's happening again. It's happening again. You're embarrassed. You're this, you're that." Like anime voice. "Oh no. Oh no. They're going to know I'm disabled." Like, oh fuck. Right. And I'm just there and I'm just like, no. Like, keep going. Like, just keep trying. Like, just keep watching him. Keep trying. And he just like was looking at me like, he's like, no. He was getting frustrated, but I was just like, no, like I'm not giving up. I don't give up. I'm not giving up. I don't give. So I'm just like feeling the third grader in me, but I'm just like, no, like this is who I am now. I don't give, And then he has Spencer paddle. Spencer gets it. Like, Spencer gets the lesson in like freaking like 10 freaking strokes, whatever. He's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, oh man. So he's like, "Yeah, you're not getting it." And I go, "Yeah, I had surgery 3 weeks ago. I was just like trying my best. He's like, oh, okay. Okay. He's like, five switch with, he's like 5 switch with 2. He put me in the back, but right next to him. So he could keep being like, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And I sat there in the back of that canoe and was like, I'm not giving up. I'm still here. I'm going to keep freaking going. I'm gonna keep freaking doing it. You know, he's like, before we got going again, he's like, be careful getting up. I'm like, no, I can get up. I'm strong enough to get out of the water. Yes. But yeah, it was a humbling lesson on Saturday. It was like feeling every ounce of inadequacy and debilitating fear. Yeah. In that moment of perceived embarrassment. And then it's like, no, that's not what's happening right now. This is you being set free right now. This is your first time walking. This is your first time like flapping your wings. Like that's all that's happening right now. And get back to the shore and like felt proud of myself. Definitely took some time to wrangle my emotions back in. But I talked with Spencer after and it was like, yeah, like, fuck, I felt like I was reliving it. And I'm just so proud of myself for not fucking like backing down from myself. It had nothing to do with Uncle. Like it was just like, I'm not going to back down from myself. Like this is about me right now. Yeah. And there's freaking 11, 12, I think there was like 13 people in that day. Yes. Like extra peeps. There's 13 people watching me completely just like mess this up for like 4 or 5 minutes straight, you know? And when I got back, I was pretty embarrassed. And it was just like, everybody in the canoe was just like, good job, you know? And I'm like, okay, like I got to keep showing up to this. So yeah, basically I keep just like living these challenges in real time. Yeah. So I just keep wandering into them. And then I'm like, shit, okay.
Homie's living.
Got to send it. Cause yeah, there's just nothing like paddling an outrigger canoe. There's nothing like downhill skiing at 60 miles an hour. Nothing like paddling an outrigger canoe. And
I can't wait to do both of those with you, especially the skiing, bro. I cannot wait to go hit the POW.
I got a need for speed.
I feel you.
That's when you have a high amount of intensity around survival, your adrenaline becomes a thing. It becomes something that's like, oh, I like this. Yeah. And it becomes more about like, oh, the more danger I experience, the more I feel this. Yeah. And funny enough, that's kind of preparation for really big emergency challenges. Yeah. Every time there's an emergency, everybody's at like a 10. I'm like, this is like a 3. Like, what are we really talking about? Like, no one's dying. Like,
do you feel your heart rate?
Like, yeah, that house,
I can't even feel my heart
that
rate.
house could catch on fire, but like, it's not going to catch on fire. Like the brush is going to be burnt up. There's no trees that fire is going to hit. Like it'll be down. It's like, oh no. It's like, okay, like calculate the variables for which fire will spread and then make the assessment and then take action. Yeah. So, but yeah, life's challenges, they just keep bringing those lessons and teaching. And so yeah, I'm here for it. Not going anywhere.
Great. I love that.
And yeah, there's more value. So this is just the story. Imagine what you learn when for like 20 years, you're trying to figure out how to keep yourself alive. Right. Man, all the biohacking stuff, all the freaking.
Yeah, we just scratched the surface today.
Yeah, this is a good start.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you being on here, Kai, and sharing your story and letting me into your life, you know, just allowing me to witness you and sharing stories with me and your fears and your tears and your homies. I really appreciate you, man. I love you dearly. You know, I'm excited to see where this goes.
I don't know where it's going to go.
Great.
Good. So you're down. Let's go.
Yes.
I can't make any promises, but it will be exciting.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. And thank you to the audience for your time and your attention and for being here to witness Kai's story. Until next time, aloha. Now that we're done, I wish I